Um, I have before you a oration given by John Quincy Adams in 1837. Why is it, friends and fellow citizens, that you are here assembled? Why is it that entering upon the 62nd year of our national existence, you have honored with an invitation to address you from this place, a fellow citizen of a former age, bearing in the records of his memory the warm and vivid affections which attached him at the distance of a full half-century to your town and to your forefathers, then the cherished associates of his youthful days. Why is it that next to the birthday of the Savior of the world, your most joyous and most venerated festival returns on this day? And why is it that among the swarming myriads of our population, that thousands and tens of thousands among us, abstaining under the dictate of religious principle from the commemoration of that birthday of him who brought life and immortality to light, 2 Timothy 1:10, yet those who abstain from the celebration of what is called Christmas yet unite with all their brethren of this community year after year in celebrating this, the birthday of the nation. So I'm going to, as an aside here, what he's talking about is, since there were a lot of Puritans and people of the Pilgrims and the Puritans of New England, they found no biblical precedent for the public celebration of the birth of Christ in the Bible. So that's what he's referring to. But even these people that did not celebrate the birth of Christ in a festive type of way, he's asking, why do they still unite with us to celebrate this 4th of July, what we call the 4th of July? Okay, back to the reading. Is it not that in the claim of human events, the birthday of the nation is indissolubly linked with the birthday of the Savior? That it forms a leading event in the progress of the gospel dispensation? Is it not that the Declaration of Independence first organized the social compact on the foundation of the Redeemer's mission upon the earth? That it laid a cornerstone of human government upon the first precepts of Christianity and gave to the world the first irrevocable pledge of the fulfillment of the prophecies announced directly from heaven at the birth of the Savior and predicted by the greatest of the Hebrew prophets 600 years before. He goes on to say, 6 years of war, cruel, unrelenting, merciless war, war at once civil and foreign, were waged, testing the firmness and fortitude of the one people in the inflexible adherence to that separation from the other, which their representatives in Congress had proclaimed. By the signature of the preliminary Articles of Peace on the 30th day of November 1782, their warfare was accomplished, and the Spirit of the Lord, with a voice reaching to the latest of future ages, might have exclaimed, like that sublime prophet of Israel, Isaiah, comfort ye my people, saith your God." George III believed that the Parliament of Great Britain had the right to enact laws for the government of the people of the British colonies in all cases. An immense majority of the people of the British Islands believed the same. And here was a conflict between two first principles of government resulting from a defect in the British Constitution. The principle that sovereign power in human government is in its nature unlimited, and the principle that property can lawfully be taxed only with the consent of its owner. Now, these two principles carried out into practice are utterly irreconcilable with each other. So what he's saying here is the British government was saying that the British government had the power, unlimited power, to do whatever it wanted to with the people, and that was the first principle of government that they proclaimed. But the second principle of government that they proclaimed was that the principle that property can only be lawfully taxed with the consent of the owner. So he's saying these two principles are at war with each other. Now these two principles carried out into practice are utterly irreconcilable with each other. The king and parliament and the people of Great Britain appealed for the right to tax the colonies to the unlimited and sovereignty of the parliament. And the colonists appealed to the natural right of property and the articles of the Great Charter, which is the Magna Carta. The collision in the application of these two principles was the primary root cause of the severance of the North American colonies from the British Empire. The grievances alleged in the Declaration of Independence were causes amply sufficient to justify before God and man the separation itself, and that resolution, to the support of which the 55 representatives of the one people of the United Colonies pledged their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor, after passing through the fiery ordeal of 6 years of war, was sanctioned by the God of battles and by the unqualified acknowledgement of the defeated adversary, which was Great Britain. This was indeed a great and solemn event, and the sublimest of the prophets of antiquity, Isaiah, with the voice of inspiration had exclaimed, "Who hath heard such a thing? Who hath seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day, or shall a nation be born at once?" And that's from Isaiah 66, verse 8. In the 2,500 years that have elapsed since the days of that prophecy, no such event had occurred. But with America, the earth was made to bring forth in one day. A nation was born at once. Well, indeed, may such a day be commemorated by such a nation from year to year. But whether as a day of festivity and joy, or of humiliation and mourning, that, fellow citizens, that, in the various turns of chance below, depends not upon the event itself, but upon its consequences. As early as the age of Solomon, that wisest of men told the people of Jerusalem that as a good name was better than precious ointment, so the day of death was better than the day of one's birth. Are you then assembled here, my brothers, children of those who declared your national independence, in sorrow or in joy? In gratitude for the blessings enjoyed, or in affliction for blessings lost? In exultation at the energies of your fathers, or in shame and confusion of face at your own degeneracy from their virtues? Forgive the apparent rudeness of these inquiries. They are not addressed to you under the influence of a doubt of what your answer to them will be. You are not here to unite in echoes of mutual congratulation for the separation of your forefathers from their kindred freemen of the British Islands, the American Revolution. You are here to turn your final reflections inward upon yourselves and to say, these are the glories of a generation passed away. What are the duties which they devolve upon us?